This player is cheating at a $100,000 international LAN, and he's just moments away from getting caught. It's one of the biggest scandals in Counter-Strike history, but it's just the tip of the iceberg, which raises a much bigger question. Why doesn't this happen anymore? Every game has cheaters, some more than others. Counter-Strike has always been plagued by them. New cheats seem to appear every single week, while Valve is constantly getting accused of falling behind. Yet despite all that, professional Counter-Strike has never faced a true cheating epidemic. But why did this phenomenon never become a serious problem in professional Counter-Strike? To find out why, we have to go back to one of the first scandals that changed the game forever. During the EMS 1 Cup Grand Final in 2013, Epsilon won against Enfalcati, but shortly after the match, Enfalcati reported suspicious behavior to ESL, and to their surprise, their suspicions were correct. Epsilon player Silos had used an aim assist and trigger bot, leading to Epsilon's disqualification. This proved that even professional players were willing to take the risk just to get a small edge, forcing tournament organizers to take anti-cheating measures more seriously. But the biggest wake-up call came only a year later. It became known as the baking bread scandal. Whilst researching for this video, I found a person that claimed to be the alleged creator of the cheat, describing how it allegedly worked and how professional players like SMN, Kali and SF ultimately ended up being exposed. Unlike traditional cheats that relied on USB drives to be injected into the game, baking bread allegedly worked by replacing a legitimate file with a modified version. The cheat would then be automatically installed through Steam Cloud or hidden workshop files when players logged into their Steam accounts at tournaments, allowing it to bypass restrictions on USB drives. And instead of obvious wall hacks, it used subtle aim assistance and in some versions, an audio-based ESP that played sounds from enemy positions, instantly giving you info about every player near you. According to the alleged developer, the cheat was never detected by Valve's anti-cheat software. It was only exposed after pro player SMN used the cheat so blatantly in a puck that the tournament organizers had to check his PC. So it wasn't even an important match that took down the cheaters. ESEA manually investigated his game files and noticed the modified file. The scandal reached its peak just days before DreamHack Winter 2014, when Kali and SF were hit with VAC bans.
Kali ban? No.
What? I'm gonna check one second.
Seriously? No.
As a result, both Titan and Epsilon were disqualified from the major, despite their teammates not being implicated. This scandal fundamentally changed how pro players viewed cheating. From that point on, ignoring a suspicious teammate wasn't just risky, it could cost everyone their chance at a major. The alleged creator also claimed ESEA began sharing data with Valve to help combat cheating, but this has never publicly been confirmed. What is clear is that tournament security became much stricter. Today, workshop maps must be approved and downloaded by tournament admins, and players are monitored when launching them. But someone was always willing to test the next loophole, and the next player would shock the entire world. In 2018, Optic India had become India's greatest hope of breaking into the international Counter-Strike scene. Optic was the first tier 1 organization that had taken the risk and signed an Indian roster. It looked like this was the next up-and-coming region, but during an international LAN match at the tournament Extremeland, tournament admins became suspicious of Forsaken and paused the game to inspect his computer. As officials approached, he physically tried to keep them away from his PC, whilst frantically attempting to close and delete a cheat program disguised as Word.exe. The attempt failed, and the entire scandal unfolded live on stream, where it's clear that his teammates are just as shocked as everyone else. Optic India were disqualified immediately, and it instantly became international headlines, and the clip quickly became one of the most infamous clips in Counter-Strike history. The fallout was devastating. Optic India released the entire roster. The team's domestic title was later revoked, and India's biggest international Counter-Strike project collapsed almost overnight. While the Indian scene didn't disappear, the scandal severely damaged its reputation. Sponsors and organizers became hesitant to invest, and the Indian scene has never recovered from the stigma of the scandal. But before we talk about the next scandal, and you want to learn how to hit clips like your favorite pros, listen up. Intel and Acer Predator sponsored my trip to IEM Cologne, where I got the chance to check out the official tournament PC, the Predator Orion 7000. It's the official PC that pros hit clips like this on.
Gonna back his aim here as all of G2.
It's powered by an Intel Core Ultra 9 285K, an Nvidia GeForce RTX 5090, and Acer Predator Cyclone X 360 cooling system. Basically, it's built to run Counter-Strike at the highest level, unlike the potato PC you're currently playing on. Also at IEM events, there's the Intel 10. Here you can actually play on the same tournament PCs the pros use, and join 10-mans between matches for a chance to win pretty cool prizes. And you can show off your weird playstyles like this guy that I found in the tent. What is he doing? And you can also end up on the main broadcast. Yup. That's me. So if you want to experience Counter-Strike the way it's meant to be played, consider checking out the Predator Orion 7000. And thank you Intel and Acer Predator for sponsoring this video. But why wouldn't this be possible today? Today, cheating at a tier 1 Counter-Strike event is almost unthinkable. Players don't control the tournament PCs, referees stand directly behind them for the entire match. Every peripheral is inspected and dozens of cameras record every movement. In theory, pulling off a cheat on stage would require bypassing multiple layers of security without leaving a single trace. So I went to the IEM Cologne Major to ask the tournament organizer himself what they do to prevent cheating.
So what do you think was the greatest technological breakthrough that happened to limit cheating on LAN?
Really limit on LAN is basically just the team that we had with us. They restrict any sort of access that people have to PCs. Yeah. You can't really do much on them other than sort of turn the game on, plug in the game and it goes. And there's no internet access that they can access or anything like that. I wouldn't say it's so much a technical upgrade, but it's having the people that have the ability to be able to do all the things that we sort of apply.
How many people is like roughly working on refereeing and preventing cheating at a major like this?
I would say we have a core team. If you look at the events, we always have like a referee behind the team. Yes. We also have like seniors that stand backstage and like monitor things. Yeah. And when it comes to cheating, like we look at all sorts of things. So I would say event-wise, like somewhere like here, I'd say we've got around 15 referees during the group stages, which we limit down when we get to this because there's only like one game going on at a time. Yeah.
Which is exactly why whenever someone accuses a top pro of cheating at a major, the question isn't did they cheat, it's rather how could they possibly have done it? Which is exactly the question that led to finding out the 2020 coach bug. In 2020, Counter-Strike was rocked by one of its biggest competitive integrity scandals. Not because of cheats, because of a bug built into the game itself. Heroic coach Hunen was found exploiting a spectator bug which allowed him to see parts of the map he was never supposed to, giving his teammates information no coach should ever have. What initially looked like an isolated incident quickly escalated into a wider investigation. ESIC discovered that Hunden wasn't alone. Dozens of coaches had abused the same bug, resulting in one of the largest ban waves in Counter-Strike history. The scandal couldn't have come at a worse time for Heroic. Just a few days earlier, they had completed a Cinderella run to win ESL 1 Cologne Europe 2020, defeating some of the world's best teams and establishing themselves as a genuine tier 1 contender. But after the coaching bug was exposed, that achievement was forever viewed through a different lens. Even though there is no evidence that every victory had been influenced by the bug, Heroic's reputation took a massive hit, and many fans began questioning the legitimacy of the team's rise. The fallout fundamentally changed the role of coaches in professional Counter-Strike. Today, coaches are closely monitored by referees and cameras. They can only communicate with their teams during timeouts, halftime, and before matches, and have virtually no interaction with players whilst rounds are live. Once again, a major scandal had exposed a weakness, and once again, tournament organizers made sure it couldn't happen again. One of the most unique forms of cheating in Counter-Strike didn't involve hacks at all. It came from the crowd. As esports arenas grew larger and more passionate, spectators would often react before the players had any information themselves. A sudden roar from the thousands of fans could unintentionally reveal that an opponent was hiding nearby, while some crowds even began deliberately cheering or gasping to help their favorite teams.
They can run away with this half, but Massport's still plenty of cash, and Olofmeister giving us a bit of fun there. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
On several occasions, professional players admitted they could pick up on these reactions and use them to make decisions during the rounds. To reduce this advantage, tournament organizers introduced multiple layers of audio isolation. Players now wear in-ear monitors that play the in-game audio, with large over-ear headsets on top that continuously play white noise to block out the crowd. During several major events, organizers also experimented with fully closed glass booths to further isolate players from the arena atmosphere. While the booths were eventually phased out due to practical issues, the combination of in-ear monitors, white noise headsets, and improved stage design remains the standard today. These measures ensure that the only information players receive comes from the game itself, not from the thousands of fans watching in the arena. As Counter-Strike became more secure, a new problem emerged. The harder it became to cheat, the easier it became to accuse someone of doing it. Throughout the years, some of the game's biggest stars have found themselves at the center of cheating allegations, simply because they were too good. Flusha was accused of using wall hacks after repeatedly making suspicious plays, whilst Drops faced years of accusations over his seemingly inhuman crosshair placement and movement. And in newer times, NoCrice was accused after a series of suspicious looking clips circulating online. Despite countless of hours of footage being analyzed by fans, none of the accusations ever resulted in the evidence of cheating. Their success was instead attributed to thousands of hours of practice. And it's just common knowledge that if you get the best players in the world, they will make plays that look suspicious. This highlights one of the biggest challenges in modern Counter-Strike. As real opportunities to cheat have become increasingly rare, accusations have shifted from evidence to speculation. Cheating will always be the most heavily argued subject in CS2, but one thing is for certain: proving someone is cheating without concrete evidence is incredibly difficult. Sometimes the difference between a cheater and one of the greatest players in the world is simply a play that looks too good to be true. As always, thank you for watching and go subscribe.